Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back to Ironclad RC. Got the UL-19 on the block. Alright, this is Proboat's 30-inch hydroplane. This thing is boss. One of my favorite looking boats from Proboat. One of my faster boats from Proboat. And, yeah, man. So what we're going to do today is something I've been wanting to do to this boat. I haven't really been running the boat real hard lately. I got a big motor, got big ESC, big batteries go in this boat. And hadn't really been running it hard due to the extra weight from the batteries, the electronics. So today we're actually going to do a carbon fiber inlay. We're going to take this roll of carbon fiber, cut it to size from tip to stern, port to starboard. Okay, doing a full carbon fiber inlay, cutting out all the electronic supports, the whole supports back here. I've been teeter-totting, debating on whether or not to cut these right here out. And I finally made my mind up. I think the carbon fiber should be plenty strong to keep the boat rigid and not twist. Okay, so stick around, you guys. Stick around. We're gonna rebuild a boat. I love upgrading my boats. You know, I've got about 20 boats. You know, I could spend the money I've spent on electronics and ESCs and batteries. I could spend all that money on new boats. But, you know, there's something about just taking one of your boats, just any old boat, upgrading it, you know, making it like yours. You know, there's just this like magic about it. It's just this satisfaction once you get the boat on the water. Just, you know, it's just a good feeling. And well, number two, I enjoy showing you guys how to do it. You know, like my drag boat build, like it's full custom. The feeling I'll get when I finally get that boat on the water, it'll be something else. You know what I'm saying? I like upgrading my boats. I like seeing them go fast. I like tuning them for performance, and I like ironcladding them out. So that's what we're gonna freaking do. Now I do have a 40 series motor mount from Offshore Electrics. Okay, there's your part number. This will be in the next video with the boat. I'll have some links in the description if you guys are interested. Just to save time in this video, we're gonna do this in the next one. You know, I've documented the whole process, the whole upgrade with this boat. Got a full playlist if you guys are interested. You know, install of the OXIDEAN. I've tried other motors, you know. Yeah, so that'll be in an upcoming video. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. All right, so I got my carbon fiber steering rod out. Okay, just unhooked it from the servo, grub screw in the back, pulled that out. Got my oversized carbon fiber cooling lines out of the boat. Okay, just got my tubes pulled back so they're out the way. Got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 screws loosened up for the electronics tray. The flex cable's out, which by the way, I'm running a 0.187 flex cable for the boat. The whole tray pulls out. Okay, we'll be pulling all this off the tray for the time being. I'm gonna leave it there just to keep it all organized. Okay, and this is what the inside of the boat looks like. These are your electronics tray hold downs, your mounting blocks. Those need to be cut out. Basically, I'm going to use a cutoff wheel with a diamond blade on it. All right, and I'll kind of try to get up under there, get a nice clean work surface, a new canvas to start. It's going to look boss with this carbon fiber.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted.
She looks rough, boys. She looks rough, but she's gonna get ironcladded out. All right, we're gonna give it an old ironclad treatment. Okay. Oh, that one come out. Okay. Whenever I was going around it, you know, they got these little nuts in there. Just try to get up under the nut. Try not to cut into the fiberglass, but you're going to be putting a carbon fiber in there. If you hit the fiberglass, it's all right. You got to sand it anyway, so, you know, don't be too meticulous with it. Don't spend too much time on it. A little update, okay? I've been doing a little bit of work, a little bit of sanding here. Got the blocks out, sanded down, kind of finalized, you know, basically prepping it up for the epoxy and carbon fiber. So I've actually been thinking on this for a couple days now, and I've made my mind up. Okay, there was 3 different ways I was gonna do it. Okay, 3 different options here for you guys. So you could actually leave the cross bracing in and inlay here, cut a little strip, inlay there, and inlay in the back. Okay, you can actually cut it down, like leave an eighth inch or 2 or 3 millimeters off the deck, leave the cross brace. Okay, just sand it down and then inlay carbon fiber over it. There'll be 2 little humps here and here, and I think this is the way I'm going to go. Final answer, I'm going to actually see this mark I got right here, 1 mark there, 1 mark there, same on the other side. I'm going to cut on that mark. All right, leave these bracing because it's actually supporting the top side of the boat right here. Okay, just cut it, like follow that angle right there and cut the whole brace out. Okay, I'm in a controlled environment, so the boat shouldn't twist in the very short time it takes me to carbon fiber this inside. And I'm just going to grind all this down, cut it out, grind it down like we did everything else. Okay, all I have to do is cut a little slit in the carbon fiber here, cut a slit there, and slit this guy right here, cut a hole in it, you know. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, you guys got 3 options. I'm sure there's no wrong way of doing it. Some guys may disagree, cutting them all the way out, and some guys may agree with me. So I'm going to cut them out. It's up to you. It's your boat. Do what you want. I'm going to do what I want. So final answer, cutting them out. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Update time. Okay, I got the boat on a scale. She weighs 3 pounds 5 ounces, gutted. Okay, so we'll weigh it once we're done. All right, I just went outside and blew all the dust out. This is like my 3rd or 4th time wiping it down with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, denatured alcohol, whatever you got. Just make sure the area is clean of debris, dust, oils before you lay down the carbon fiber. You want a nice bonded surface. Okay, it's all about the prep. 99.99999% prep, 0.1% actual epoxy. Okay, I've actually got both of my supports back here, this identical. Okay, I've actually profiled the adhesive they used, kind of rounded it off, you know, concaved it there. So when I put my carbon fiber sheet in, it'll lay right up against it. Okay, I've done the same thing to right here where my stuffing tube is. All right, so we're basically ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this chopped up carbon fiber right here. All right, chopped up quite a bit with my laminating resin. Okay, and I'm gonna go and epoxy the seam. Okay, you might be able to see it. I got my phone sideways, but there's a seam right here. You see that little, they got like a little like run of this adhesive all the way around the seam. So what I did when I was sanding the boat, I went in there and kind of sanded some of the high spots. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is take this chopped up carbon fiber, go around the seam right here, all the way around the boat, all the way around, everywhere I can get, right here especially. So I'm gonna reinforce the seam here, everywhere I can get to. While I've got the epoxy and carbon fiber mixed up, chopped up, I'm gonna go around these supports right here. Okay, just kind of put me a little bit around it and around the stuffing tube. Okay, under the stuffing tube, all around this right here with this guy right here. And what that's gonna do when we lay our cloth in, okay, just in case we like get one of our cuts off, or when I cut the hole out for the stuffing tube, we're gonna have this black carbon fiber under, like, to lay the cloth on, so you won't tell, like, any mistakes we make, it won't be so noticeable, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that down. It's gonna help with the looks of the finished product, and I think it's gonna help with the strength, okay, especially around the seams. That's really the reason I'm doing it. And I just kind of used the leftover just to go around this stuff right here. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward through it. It's just chopped up carbon fiber. This thing's gonna be going fast. I got a big motor. I'm gonna put the XLX2 in it, and I'm gonna have some big batteries, possibly running on 8S sometime. So definitely gonna reinforce the hull. Okay, so let's get it. Alright, so I basically got my carbon fiber in place. Okay, I'm just kind of spreading it out, making sure everything's smooth so I don't have so much sanding to do. Okay, I got it in the seams. Okay, and in this one little area, I couldn't really get the mix of carbon fiber and epoxy like in the seam right there. So what I did is I used a brush and made sure I got epoxy everywhere on the seam area, okay, with my brush. And then what I'm going to do is take some carbon fiber hairs, just kind of let them stick onto my finger. You guys see that? And I'm going to apply them to that wet epoxy and then smear those hairs in to the seam, okay? Because, I mean, what's the point in putting epoxy on something if there's no reinforcement? You know, you get all your strength from the carbon fiber. So I'm just using this carbon fiber, the hairs by itself, and kind of work it into the epoxy on my seam. Okay, so we get that reinforcement we're looking for. I'm kind of on like this part, and then I'm trying to drag it on the top as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like reinforcing the top side and the bottom side, you know? Where you just put those fresh dry hair, just kind of wet it out. You know, if it's not wet enough, if you need it like a little bit wetter. So the carbon fiber hairs will soak up the epoxy. You know, not much will help it stick to the epoxy. This part right here, it's not, you don't have to do this. This is just something I'm doing, something I'm trying. I've never worked with carbon fiber sheet before, so it's kind of a new process to me, and trying to think ahead. That looks pretty good in there. I wish you guys could see it. I got some carbon fiber that I just set in the boat. You know, this is just cloth. This is what I was doing up in the seam. I was just I put a little glob of cut up hairs, and I would just kind of pack it into the seam. You know what I mean? Like that number right there. And that epoxy that we had wetted out on the boat, it sucks up those hairs and it gives you a nice reinforced area, you know, along with the carbon fiber that we're going to lay down. It's going to be perfect, you guys. It's going to be perfect. Like this isn't mandatory. You don't have to do this. This is just what I'm doing. I'm trying a new process. I've never really messed with carbon fiber all that much, so I'm just trying something new, something different here. Alright, so it's the next day, you guys. It's the next day. Bear with me because I'm actually going to try to show you guys the seams, okay, the forward seam. And I've already prepped it up. Anytime you let epoxy or fiberglass sit overnight and you reapply on top of it, you have to rough it up, sand it down so you have a nice surface to bond to. If you don't, you know, it may not stick to shiny, dried epoxy. Okay, so my supports, they're all carbon fibered. Okay, the stuffing tube, as you can see. All right, and try to show you the seam right here. All right, all the way down. Did the carbon fiber. All right. Once I turned the camera off last night, I actually took chopped up carbon fiber and applied it over the carbon fiber epoxy mix to reinforce it. Okay, that way I don't have like just resin sitting somewhere. All right, it's all reinforced up here. That should be good, and the other side over here is exactly the same. Okay, so now we're going to cut out a template. Okay, we're going to cut a template out for our carbon fiber, an exact template. We're going to use, I actually cleared off my drag boat build table over here so I have somewhere to work. We're going to cut this paper to fit in the boat, like exactly. Perfect. Okay, perfectly cut template. All right, so we can duplicate the template onto the carbon fiber cloth. You don't want to like go in and out your boat with the carbon fiber cloth because well, you see what happens when you handle it. Okay, it'll fray and all that good stuff. So you have to be very gentle once you start working with the carbon fiber. So it's nice to have a template cut ready to go, an exact template. So I actually got a piece of paper cut here. Okay, and on the back I actually tapered it a little bit. I cut like a little slither off right here. Okay, so let's see how it fits in the boat. This is basically, pretend this is going to be your carbon fiber, and you're basically practicing right now, laying your carbon fiber in the boat. You know, while we're practicing, we're cutting a template type deal. So, you know, kind of get that muscle memory, you know, memorize how you're doing it. So when you put your carbon fiber in there, you can do it one time, okay, and you don't have to pull it out type deal. All right, so I'm making sure it's pushed all the way up on the edges, all the way up on the edges, all the way around the boat, on both sides, you know. Okay, once you got it in there and you're happy with where it's going to be at, you'll go ahead and cut out where your stuffing tube is going to be. Okay, that's why I taped it up so it don't rip when I cut it. And I taped the edges so they don't rip when I'm filling around for my braces. Okay, I'm going to cut a little slit here, a little slit here, a little opening here. Right here, okay, where it kind of goes up to your sponson. Okay, probably going to have to cut it a little slit right there so that your carbon fiber lays down on the deck up into your sponson right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and work on that. What I said earlier, you guys, it's all about the prep. It's all about the preparation, all the little things, okay, that add up to the big picture. Okay, so I've got it. I'm gonna pull this piece of paper out so you guys can see what it looks like, but I'm gonna show you what it looks like before I pull it out. So I got a cut right here because my non-trip ends right there, so I cut it flat. Okay, I've got this piece right here so it will lay down on that sponson area. Okay, it goes all the way up to, almost up to the seam. That's why I prepped it up and carbon fibered my seam first. Okay, you guys see that? Because this is 12 inches wide and my carbon fiber is 12 inches wide. I got my rails cut out, my braces. Okay, I cut a little bit wider slit there so I don't have to fight it. Okay, I've got it cut back here. Okay, I've actually been working on just this piece of paper right here for about an hour and a half. Okay, I got my stuffing tube cut out the way I want it. Hopefully I can duplicate that on the carbon fiber. I'm worried, I'm scared to pull the carbon fiber out. I've never done this before, so I'm actually like trying to think of every little possible scenario. Okay, you see how I got it pushed all the way up on the seam over here? Alright, it's exactly the same on both sides. Okay, so just remember how you've been pulling it in and out. Alright, I recommend taping the little areas that you're going to cut so they don't rip while you're pulling it in and out your boat. Okay, so I'm going to lay it out here for you guys so you can see what I've done. Alright, you see how I cut a corner out right here because that's where my sponson is. Okay, same thing on this side. I actually took a pencil and kind of scribbled it, and I could see where my bends are. Same thing right here. I scribbled in the boat with the paper there, and I could see where to cut it at. Okay, same thing with these guys right here. Scribbled it with a pencil and then cut it out. Alright. The back, okay, see how the back, I kind of had to actually like cut an angle right here, and then I cut more of an angle right there because the back of the boat, it's really skinny back here, and it's not quite as tall as it is right here. So you have to kind of go from nothing to something right here, maybe pull about 5 or 6 millimeters. Okay, so I got my carbon fiber laid out. Alright, I cut the tethered piece off the end. It's already freaking tethering again. I don't know any tips to give you guys about that. I have no idea. I've tried putting masking tape on it, and it just sticks to the masking tape, so I don't know. I even looked it up online. I didn't really find nothing. So I got my pattern laid out. I'm just going to take my ruler and a razor knife and try to get it cut to size. I think I'm going to cut this out first, and then I'll cut the rest out so I can use this as my reference. Deal with the camera angle. I'm going to set it up out of the way so it's not in my way so you guys can see me do it. Alright, so hopefully I do it right. Got it cut out. Okay, I used my razor knife for everything. I ruined my tabletop, but I need to paint it anyway. So I got it all cut out. Okay, it actually looks pretty good. I was afraid I was going to mess up the weave. Like if you pull one little wrong hair, you'll pull your weave out. So you got to be careful for that. And like I said, this is like my first time doing a carbon fiber inlay. I've done plenty of fiberglass inlays, like you can't mess that up, you know. But carbon fiber, it's fragile. It's fragile, so you got to handle it with care. So I'm actually going to mix up 5 grams of hardener to 10 grams of epoxy, 1 part, 2 part. Okay, so 15 total grams, and we'll see how far that gets me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my resin in, so when I lay that carbon fiber in the boat, it's in there. Okay, a lot of guys use spray glue, you know, spray it in your boat and then it sticks to carbon fiber. It'll lay it down. You can lay it down, but I think the spray glue, in my opinion, it'll actually act as a barrier for your epoxy, and maybe you won't get a good like bond to the actual hull, you know. So I'm gonna go resin. All right, I'm gonna spread it on real thin, just kind of get it all over the boat, so when I put that carbon fiber in there, it sticks down. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it mixed up, and I'll start the video once I start laying the epoxy. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and spread it out all in the hull. I've actually wiped my hull down 2 or 3 times with alcohol, so it's clean. Okay, because we were back and forth putting that paper in. Make sure it's 99.9% prep, like I said. 0.1% carbon fiber. All right, I've got about 8 hours into this project and hadn't even laid any, maybe even 10, hadn't even laid a piece of carbon fiber yet. Okay. So I ended up mixing 21 grams, 7 hardener, 14 resin. 21 grams, that should do it. I was trying to go light and actually accidentally poured more hardener than I needed. So I'm gonna go ahead and start spreading it out, and then we're gonna put the carbon fiber in. Okay, I'm gonna get this resin everywhere. Okay. Alright, so I'm actually freaking out. I'm freaking out, boys. I'm freaking out. Laying it in there nice and easy. Think I'm going to work up one side at a time. Oh, it's actually going in there pretty good. It's actually going on there pretty good. So it actually went in there pretty good. I don't really know what to tell you about like stuff like this where it's kind of like disforming the weave, other than kind of trying to press it down and get it to fit in there right. That right there sucks. I don't know what happened there, but that actually really sucks. Oh, that sucks. But everything else looks pretty good. Alright, so I guess now I'm just going to go through and I'm not going to pull these extra hairs. I'm just going to cut them. Make sure they're not attached to anything, and you know, kind of go from there with it. So I'm gonna start laying down some resin, you know, saturating it. So it's actually pretty much done, and it looks freaking boss, you guys. What I've been doing is just kind of going around, getting any stray strands, you know, like right here. I actually got a strand that was like looped. Okay, so I'm actually gonna, it's part of the weave, and it looks terrible, so I think I'm just gonna cut it. There's nothing else I can really do with it, and it looks terrible, like laid down, so I think I might just kind of cut that little loop out. I'm going through and kind of laying down all these little stray hairs, you know, up against the seam up here, trying to get it all laid down, especially back here in the transom, getting up there, trying to get it all laid out. I kind of worked that little bad like twist in my weave out right here. I've noticed, you know, if you got a little bad spot, you can kind of take your brush and go one way, go the other way, try to like push those weaves together and kind of fix your pattern. You know, my weave, I've been kind of trying to go the same direction, and I put 21 grams in the boat. I laid the fabric down. I used all that 21 up, and I mixed up 15 more. Okay, so I got 20, 30, somewhere like 30 grams of resin in the boat, basically, not including the resin from reinforcing around my stuffing tube. By the way, now you guys see what I was doing. Okay, right here you would have been able to see through the weave. Okay, like where I had to cut it out. And where I had a black carbon fiber, chopped it up, you can't tell. You know what I'm saying? It kind of blends into the weave. You don't see no white through it or whatnot. Same thing with my supports right here. You would have seen a bunch of white adhesive that they used to block them in, and now you can't. You know, it's nice, all nice. I actually cut a little square right here because I had cut my my main piece of carbon fiber short. So I guess you can see back there where I had put a weave, that extra piece of weave at. All right, we need to pull it back. But I'm just going through, and you got to keep your brush moving. You know, you can kind of brush it on like this, just making sure all my resin spread out. You know, make sure my weaves are all kind of like in line with itself. You know, once you feel it, the epoxy starting to stick to your brush, you need to stop. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. That's bugging me, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's done. Yes sir, buddy. Yes sir, buddy. Oh man, it turned out freaking epic, son. For my first inlay with carbon fiber, I'd say I freaking nailed it, son. Ooh. Yes sir, buddy. She's ironcladded out, son. Ironcladded out. Now we can run some batteries in this bad boy, okay? Now we can run some batteries. We were limited to some 7600s, 5200s. Now we can throw the SRD 8000s in, okay? Now we could put the 7600 HCL-HP 150Cs in with the XLX2 and that 4082. 100 mile an hour, here we freaking come. Huh? Yes sir, buddy. All right, so now you can really see what I was talking about with that with the chopped up carbon fiber, and like the prep I did before we laid down the weave. You know, where the supports are right here, you guys can see like it wasn't a perfect fit, and the hairs, the weave like frayed up, and you can actually see behind it that black chopped up carbon fiber. It actually helped blend it in, so we're not like having to put anything over it. Okay, you're not seeing the white fiberglass through it where the imperfections are, where the weave was coming apart. Okay, I got it way up there on the seam up there. Okay, and that black chopped up, it actually helped blend it in up here too. You know, where we reinforced the seam, it actually helped blend it in. Okay, check out the front. All right, I went all the way up to the very, very front of the tunnel right here. Okay, you can see where I had to add that secondary piece right there and another piece on the other side, which in all actuality, I really didn't need to do that because it was only a little slither that was of fiberglass that was showing through, and I really didn't need to do it, but it looks better. It made me feel better. Back here on the transom, I tried to get it to like roll over on the transom piece there. Right here in the corner, you guys see that white showing through right there under that bolt. You see that under that bolt back there on the transom. What I'm going to do, just to make me happy, I'm going to kind of rough up that little section with some sandpaper, mix up some epoxy, and take some of that extra chopped up carbon fiber and do like what we did here. Just wet it out and then take my finger, dip it in the carbon fiber, that chopped up carbon fiber, and just kind of just put it on top back there so it's not so noticeable. Which you wouldn't never see it if I wouldn't have pointed it out. You know what I'm saying? So I got my scale. We're about to weigh it up. I'll show you guys it weighed up. And oh, it turned out good, you guys. It turned out good. I'm interested to see how much it weighs, how much weight this added. Because fiberglass and epoxy, it would have added, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 ounces. You know, I'm curious to see how much extra weight we added. So let's see how much it weighs. Oh, so 3 pounds 5 ounces is what we started with a completely gutted hull. 3 pounds 5 ounces. It's 3 pounds 7 ounces now, so that's 2 ounces. If I'm not mistaken, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 to 900 grams extra with the carbon fiber. That's not taking out the weight of the electronics tray, which I would imagine is a couple ounces. You know what I'm saying? This whole electronics tray and the blocks that went with it. You know, if you guys are interested in seeing how much the electronics tray, you're going to have to tune into the next video. It's late right now, and I'm not taking all this off just to weigh a freaking electronics tray. So you're going to have to tune in to the next segment where we're going to install the motor mount, make a servo mount block to screw our servo onto, and rebuild the boat with the OXIDEAN 4082, the XLX2, and yeah, it's gonna be boss. So for my first go around with the Inlay, you know, I think it turned out good. It strengthened it up. I'm actually like pushing on the bottom here, and I can actually tell there's not nowhere near as much flex as there was before I did the inlay. So it was a successful inlay. So thanks for watching, you guys. Sorry about the long video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. If you want to correct something I did wrong, or if you've seen something you guys can help me with the process, especially keeping the damn weave together while you're like working with it, by all means drop a comment, because I can't believe how easy this stuff like falls apart in your hand. The carbon Kevlar, it's not quite so fragile. You know, this stuff here is not quite as fragile as the carbon fiber. So oh, thanks for watching, man. Thanks for watching. I don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, share it with your buddies. Somebody is about to do the process, maybe to help them out. We'll see you guys next time. Big B, Ironclade RC. Woohoo! 100 mile an hour. Here we come.